October 2nd, 1994. Officer Patricia Williams kicked down the door of 816 West Chestnut Street. The smell hit her like a punch to the gut. Death. 3 days old. Joe Martin, 72, lay face down on carpet worn thin as paper, heart medication bottle empty beside his hand. No family to miss him. No friends to check on him. Another old man who died alone in Louisville. Williams shook her head. Another routine welfare check. Fill out paperwork. Call the coroner. But something made her walk through the house first. The garage door was rusted shut. She yanked hard and it gave way suddenly. Then froze completely. Floor to ceiling, hundreds of boxes lined every wall, all labeled by year. Training records, fight programs, photographs, and sitting on a workbench like sacred relics, 42 leather-bound journals. Williams picked up one marked 1,954 inches and opened it randomly. That clay boy came back today, still talking about being heavyweight champion. Most kids dream about toys. This one dreams about greatness. I think he might actually do it. Her hands started shaking. Joe Martin. This forgotten dead man. He'd been Muhammad Ali's first trainer. For 42 years, he documented their relationship obsessively. Every day, every moment. But buried in the final journal was a secret that would destroy Ali when he learned the truth. The secret Joe Martin died with. Alone. October 12, 1954. 12-year-old Cassius Clay ran home from Chickasaw Park, heart pounding with excitement. His father had worked double shifts for months to buy that red Schwinn bicycle. 3 months overtime at the paint factory. All for his boy's happiness. But when Cassius reached 4th Street, where he'd left his bike outside Bailey's barber shop, it was gone. No, somebody stole my bike. He searched every alley, every yard, tears streaming down his face. His father's sacrifice. Gone. 20 minutes later, Cassius burst into the Columbia gym basement like a hurricane. Somebody stole my bike. I'm gonna find who did it and whoop him good. The white kids stopped hitting bags, stared at this skinny black boy making noise in their space. Officer Joe Martin looked up from training another student, 32 years old, built like a middleweight, patient brown eyes scarred by years on Louisville's toughest beats. He ran this gym in his spare time, teaching discipline, keeping kids off streets. But a black kid training here meant trouble. What's your name, son? Cassius Clay. And I mean what I said about that whooping. Martin knelt to eye level. The boy's rage was real, but so was something else. Vulnerability. Pain. Maybe you ought to learn how to fight before you start promising to whoop people. You mean boxing? Come back tomorrow after school. The next day, Cassius showed up at 4 p.m. sharp. Every day for 6 years after that. Martin saw it immediately. Not just speed, though Cassius moved like lightning. Not just hunger, though he outworked everyone. Belief. This 89-pound kid genuinely thought he'd be heavyweight champion someday. Talked about it constantly. When I'm champion, Cassius said after his third amateur win, I'm buying you a Cadillac, Mr. Martin. You really believe you can do it? Don't just believe it. I know it. I'm gonna be the greatest fighter who ever lived. Most trainers would have told him to be realistic. Joe Martin didn't. Then we better get back to work. But training a black kid in 1950s Louisville was dangerous. Parents threatened to pull their children. Anonymous calls came nightly. Get rid of that colored boy. Final warning. Martin hung up and wrote in his diary every night. Another threat today. They want me to stop training Cassius. Say it ain't right. Maybe they're wrong about what's right. This boy is special. I can feel it. And I'm making sure he gets every chance. For 6 years, Martin protected Cassius as much as he trained him. Every racist comment shut down immediately. Every complaint from parents ignored. Every suggestion from Louisville police to focus elsewhere dismissed. Martin documented everything in his journals. Cassius stayed late to sweep the gym. He wrote in 1957. Kids got more character than people think. All that bragging is confidence. Inside he's still polite. Says thank you for everything. Cassius asked if I really believed he could be champion. He wrote in 1958. Looked scared asking. Told him what I always tell him. Champions are made, not born. He's making himself every day. But Martin knew their time was borrowed. Then came 1960. Olympic gold in Rome. Suddenly everyone wanted Cassius Clay. Professional promoters. Big-time trainers. The Louisville sponsoring group, with their contract. Angelo Dundee would train him in Miami. National television fights. It meant leaving Joe Martin behind forever. Got the call today. Martin wrote October 15th, 1960. Cassius turning professional. Moving to Miami next week. 6 years watching him grow from crying kid to Olympic champion. Now losing the best part of my life. October 20th, 1960. Final goodbye at Columbia Gym. Martin was working with another student when Cassius walked in one last time. Both knew why he was there. "So this is it," Martin said quietly. "Yes, sir. 6 years of dreams, daily training, father and son relationship." Neither knew what to say. "Mr. Martin, everything I become starts here with you. You believed when nobody would. You're gonna do great things, Cassius. Remember where you came from. I'll never forget. Never." They shook hands, embraced awkwardly. Cassius walked out forever. Both men were lying about never forgetting. Cassius became Muhammad Ali, conquered the world, beat Liston, Frazier, Foreman, most famous athlete on earth. In every interview, every documentary, Joe Martin got mentioned briefly, if at all. The story became about Angelo Dundee, Malcolm X Nation of Islam, everyone except the white police officer who discovered him. Joe Martin faded like smoke. He returned to his small gym and police beat, trained other kids, but none with Cassius's magic. Watched every Ali fight on television, read every article, proud but forgotten. Watched Muhammad beat Liston tonight. Martin wrote February 1965. Whole world talking about my boy. Except he ain't mine anymore. World's boy now. Pride mixed with pain. Christmas card from Muhammad today. December 1966. Standard printed card. Season's greetings from Muhammad Ali. Probably sent hundreds, but he remembered. That's something. Cards stopped coming in 1967, as Ali became controversial, refused military service. Stripped of his title. Connection to white police officer became liability. Martin understood politics. Still hurt. Haven't heard from Muhammad in 2 years, 1969. Can't blame him. I'm cop, he's fighting system. Don't fit together anymore, but think about him every day. Still love him like my son. Years destroyed Joe Martin systematically. Wife Margaret died 1985, cancer. Martin nursed her through 2 years of chemotherapy. Watched the woman he'd loved for 44 years waste away. After her funeral, Martin sat alone. Margaret's gone. 44 years marriage, now alone. House feels like tomb. Don't know how to survive this. Retired 1987 on pension that barely covered bills. Columbia Gym closed 1988. Torn down for parking lot. 40 years of boxing history reduced to rubble. Moved to tiny house West Chestnut Street. Just him, television, memories. Heart problems started 1990. Doctor visits. Expensive medication. Hospital stays. Bills piled like snow. But Martin never contacted Ali. Never capitalized on connection to most famous athlete in world. Never wrote tell-all book. Saw Muhammad on TV today, 1993. Interview about Parkinson's disease, shaking getting worse. Speech, slurred. Breaks my heart seeing fastest man I knew moving slowly. Wonder if he thinks about old days. Wonder if he thinks about me. Martin stared at television where Ali struggled forming words. Should call him. Let him know I'm thinking about him. Proud how he's handling disease. But what would I say? Hi Muhammad. Remember old trainer. I'm broke and lonely. Sounds pathetic. Neither picked up phone. October 1st, 1994. Martin sat watching old videotape. Muhammad Ali vs. Larry Holmes, October 2nd, 1980. Watched dozens of times. Tonight felt different. Final. Chest tight. Heart medication failing. Martin knew he was dying. Not today. Maybe not this week. But soon. He picked up diary for last time. Watching Holmes beat up my boy again. Breaks heart every time. Muhammad shouldn't have fought that night. Too proud to quit. Then Martin wrote something he'd never told another soul. His deepest secret. I was there that night in Vegas. October 2nd, 1980. Flew out on pension money. Sat in cheapest seats. Had to be there for what I knew might be Muhammad's last fight. Handwriting became shaky. After Holmes destroyed him, went to hotel, waited in lobby 3 hours. Just wanted to tell him how proud I was, how much he meant to me. Memory clear as yesterday. Muhammad walked right past me, face swollen from beating, moving like old man though only 38. I started to call out Cassius, it's Joe Martin, your first trainer. Final confession. But I stopped. He was surrounded by doctors, lawyers, important people. I realized something that broke my heart. I didn't belong anymore. Wasn't part of his world, so I let him walk away. Biggest regret of my life. Martin's final words addressed directly to Ali. Muhammad, if you ever read this, teaching you to box was greatest privilege of my life. Watching you become champion was proudest moment. You were always like son to me. I love you, kid. Your first trainer, Joe Martin. He closed journal, went to bed. 12 hours later, he was dead. When Officer Williams finished reading 3 days later, she was sobbing, called news stations immediately. Discovery made international headlines within hours. Muhammad Ali's reaction was immediate and devastating. Never seen Muhammad cry like that, Lonnie Ali later said. Not just tears. Sobbing, whole body shaking. Kept saying, should have known, should have been there. He was my first trainer. Despite advancing Parkinson's, Ali insisted traveling to Louisville for memorial service, held at Columbia Auditorium, where Martin ran his gym decades earlier. Ali struggled to feet to speak about man who started his career. Joe Martin saved my life, Ali said, each word effort, speech slurred but sincere. Took angry little boy who lost bicycle, and taught him not just fighting but how to be man. Should have stayed in touch. Should have made sure he was okay. Without Joe Martin, no Muhammad Ali. Memorial revealed how many lives Martin touched. Former students from across country, community leaders, fathers who credited Martin with keeping sons off streets. Most powerful moment came when they presented Ali with Martin's complete diary collection, all 42 volumes. Ali held journals with trembling hands. When Lonnie read passages aloud, including Martin's final entry about Holmes' fight, about watching Ali walk past him in hotel lobby, entire auditorium fell silent except sound of crying. Ali was overcome, body shaking as he wept for man who believed in him when no one else would. What Ali did next remained private for years. According to neighbors, black limousine appeared at house on West Chestnut Street every month for 2 years. Driver placed fresh flowers on porch with card, "Thank you." When neighbors asked who sent them, driver only said, "Someone who never forgot." Most important discovery wasn't journals themselves, what they revealed about hidden cost of fame. 2 men who loved each other like father and son spent decades thinking about each other, missing each other, wanting to reconnect. But pride, circumstances, simple passage of time kept them apart. Martin died believing Ali forgot him. Ali lived regretting he'd lost touch. But 42 volumes proved they were both wrong. Neither man ever forgot the other. Tragedy wasn't losing touch, both being too afraid to pick up phone. Martin got recognition eventually. Statue erected at gym site, museum exhibit created. Boxing historians rewrote Ali's early story, but came 24 years too late. Man who discovered Muhammad Ali, who believed in him when nobody would, who protected and trained and loved him, died alone and forgotten, never knowing how much he mattered to boy who became greatest. Officer Williams still keeps one journal entry photocopied in desk. October 20th, 1960. Watched Cassius leave gym today for last time. 6 years of my life walking outdoor. Hope he remembers me when he's famous. Hope I did right by that boy. He did remember. For 34 years. Remembered every single day. Sometimes heroes are people we forget to remember. Sometimes most important phone calls are ones we never make. And sometimes greatest love stories end in silence, with 2 people who meant everything to each other never finding courage to say so. Joe Martin's garage held 42 years of love letters to boy who became world's champion. Muhammad Ali kept that final journal until he died in 2016. On nightstand, open to Martin's last entry. Student never forgot first teacher. Just never found words to say so. When Ali died, they found letter in desk drawer. Handwritten, never sent, dated 1995. Dear Joe Martin, I think about you every day. You made me who I am. I should have called. I love you like father you were to me. Your boy Muhammad Ali. 2 love letters, 40 years apart. Neither delivered. Both men died with unfinished business. Hearts full of words never spoken. But boxes in Martin's garage prove something beautiful about human heart. True love doesn't always need words. Sometimes it just needs remembering. And Joe Martin remembered everything. Every day, every fight, every moment they shared. For 42 years, until day he died, still believing he'd been forgotten by greatest fighter who ever lived. He hadn't been, not for single day. Boy who cried about stolen bike became man who never stopped loving his first trainer. He just never learned how to say it. The tragedy echoes through time. 2 hearts that beat for each other, separated by pride and circumstance. Joe Martin died clutching a newspaper clipping of Ali's last professional fight. Muhammad Ali died with Martin's final journal entry bookmarked on his nightstand. Both men carried the other until their final breath. Both died believing they'd been forgotten. Neither had been, not for a moment. That's the real story hidden in those 42 journals. Not the training, not the techniques, not even the discovery of greatness. The story of love that couldn't find its voice, until it was too late.